you want to be a serious portrait artist, you must practice painting from a live model. Many times this is not possible. Maybe the person you want to paint has died, or is now a lot older, or for some reason is no longer available. Then of course you have to work from a photo. But believe me, there is nothing like working from a live sitter to really sharpen your painting skills. Follow along with me and I'll tell you what I was thinking as I made my painting decisions. Right from the start, I'm thinking about where I'm going to place the sitter's head on the canvas and how big it will be. I'm looking for reference points that show me the largest simple shapes that make up the head. The angles that make up these shapes are extremely important, and you'll notice I spend a lot of time getting these right. Of course, none of this is cut in stone, and as I get farther along, I'll be constantly checking my reference points for accuracy and making adjustments. The position of the eyes is very important, as well as the distance between them. It's really frustrating when you get down to doing a beautiful job of detailing an eye, then suddenly realize it's about 1/4 of an inch out of place. Wow. Getting the width of the face as related to the height is what I'm concentrating on here. If I don't get it right now, it's much harder to fix later. The base of the nose is another very important reference point. Use as many other points around it to get it as accurate as you can for now, although you may have to move that a little as the rest of the features on the face take shape. Be careful that the sitter doesn't move to a slightly different position after a while, since this reference point can be very different later and throw off your likeness. I'm checking and restating the eyes a little stronger now since I feel they're pretty close to where they're going to finally be. I'll go in a little closer so you can see how I'm lightly sketching in some shadow areas. Time to throw in some value statements here to help me get a feel for the shadows. It's nothing like what it's going to look like later, but it does help me to start seeing some depth to the head. I'm looking for shapes and the value or lightness and darkness of those shapes. I don't care much about color yet. Only values as they relate to the shapes around them. Some more blocking in here to get a feel for the entire painting. Here's a look at the sitter. It's not exactly the angle I'm seeing as I paint, but it's pretty close. Some more cross-checking of my reference points to update their accuracy. Let's move in a little closer here so you can see the brush strokes. I'm also going to speed the video up a bit since this demo took about 2 hours and I need to fit it into a YouTube time limit. You can still see how the face is taking shape. Time to start roughing in the hat. It's important to get your view of the sitter as close to the edge of the canvas as possible. There's this constant checking back and forth to be done, so you want to make it the shortest distance possible. Before I can start judging the colors and values in the face itself, I need some value in the background. It's not necessary to get the full value yet, since the values on the face will affect how light or dark the background will be. Just like in playing horseshoes, you only need to get close for now. Okay, the rough in looks pretty close. Now I can start refining the shapes and getting more critical of the color and value of each shape that makes up the face. One thing you want to avoid is a skin color that's made up of just various shades of brown. I see that a lot on beginners' paintings. Look for other colors in the face. They're there. If the source light is warm, the shadows will have cool colors. If the source is cool, the shadows will be warm. A sitter can get very tired after a 2-hour session, so I took a photo and put about another 2 hours into the painting for the finish. I call this an oil sketch because I only spent about 4 hours on it. On a commissioned portrait, I'll spend more like 40 hours. But these sketches are necessary, just like piano scales for a pianist. But most importantly, have fun painting.